come in the future, God willing. We are fully committed to delivering bigger, better, and more impactful editions, where we shall beam our searchlight on critical and topical issues and also recognize and reward those individuals and groups, governmental and non-governmental, in the public sectors, contributing towards uplifting the Nigerian people and uniting the nation. We are resolutely determined to transform with the support of all stakeholders, to transform both the FRCN, that is Radio Nigeria itself, and the FRCN annual lecture and award ceremony, worthy institutions and shining examples to be emulated by their peers. We are gathered here today to discuss food security, a topic which arguably resonates with every one of us here and beyond. The importance of food and its security is an issue right in the front burner of governance, the world, especially in the last few years. That is why, and rightly so, one of the key components of the renewed hope agenda of the Bola Tinubu administration is food security. In fact, upon the assumption of office, the present administration declared food as a national emergency and to mitigate food shortages through releases of grains and other food items, particularly rice, to Nigerians of all shades. In addition to that, today we have a Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and that of Livestock Development for the first time in our history. This Ministry of Livestock Development, of course, was established only about 2 months ago. And just yesterday, Mr. President, while presenting the 2025 budget to the National Assembly, declared that the attainment of food security is non-negotiable and that the government will take bold steps to ensure every Nigerian will be able to feed conveniently and will not go to bed hungry. All these efforts of government notwithstanding, however, issues around food and nutrition remain in the front burner of national discourse. No thanks to food shortages and rising costs brought about by the activities of terrorists and bandits which have restricted farmers from accessing their farms, the devastating impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the consequence of necessary economic reforms, and our continued heavy reliance on imported food items, among other factors. Thus, our choice of the topic for this year's FRCN annual lecture, Food Security in Nigeria, puts way forward. I have no doubt in my mind that the erudite Professor of Agriculture, Abba Gambo, and our distinguished panel will do adequate justice to this topic by highlighting cogent solutions to the challenges confronting us as a nation. Now to my final words. In FRCN, we pride ourselves as the largest radio network in Africa, with a network service like no other. But we are still striving hard to be in a better position to serve Nigeria and Nigerians better. Since I came on board, we have made it a cardinal objective to embrace and adapt to innovation and existing and emerging technology in this age of media convergence in an ever-evolving media landscape. We have since introduced and are currently expanding the use of multimedia platforms to complement traditional broadcasts, as well as the deployment of renewable sources of energy to attract and attain new audiences, especially the use of the millennials and Gen Z, who constitute over 60% of the country's population. That is in addition to our existing listenership. We are also aggressively partnerships, collaborations and engagements with both public and private sector players in Nigeria and overseas to reposition the FRCN so that our organization serves Nigerians better. Let me conclude this welcome address by publicly placing on record my deep sense of gratitude To our special guest of honor, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Vice President, my brother, and I dare say my friend, my boss, and I use this term with a positive connotation, and my political leader. Thank you very much, sir. I want I want to request my brother to convey my gratitude to the Vice President. For nearly 15 years now, it has pleased God to use the Vice President from our days in Borno and now at the national level as an instrument through which I have reached every position in life. In the process, cultivating between us a mutual respect and trust and show of loyalty for each other, culminating into who I am today. I remain eternally grateful, sir. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Mohammed Idris Kakakinufe, has also treated me as a true friend and brother, and I thank him for his inspiring and refreshing leadership. Thank you, sir. Given the level of bonding and unity he has forged with me and my other colleagues, heads of agencies in the ministry, who are here as witnesses, to think that I only made the acquaintance of the Honorable Minister barely 2 years ago is truly amazing. You know, I met him only 2 years ago, but it's like I've been all my life because of his simplicity and approach to things. At the professional level, the Honorable Minister has strived to ensure support in terms of better funding and the provision of an enabling environment for FRCN and our sister agencies to discharge our obligations to the Nigerian people. This speech will not be complete without referencing the support and cooperation we received from the Senate and the House of Representatives Committees on Information and National Orientation, respectively led by Senator Kenneth Eze and Honorable Olushola Fatoba. We look forward to working even more closely with them in the future. To the millions of our esteemed listeners, partners, and clients, the FRCN values you immensely. Our doors are always open to all Nigerians who share ideas for partnership and sponsorship. You can avail yourself of our wide network coverage, spanning an expanding number of FM stations that reach every corner of this country. Thank you all once again as I welcome you all to. Thank you all once again as I welcome you most warmly and wish you and all of us a successful and fruitful deliberations. Thank you very much.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I think our tireless Director General deserves a more resounding round of applause for that beautiful, comprehensive and brilliant welcome address. Thank you very much. Before we move to the next item on the program of events, which my colleague here will be handling, I would like to quickly recognize the presence of these important persons. Everyone here is important actually. We have Mr. Jide Ojo, who is the Executive Director, OJA Development Consult, author and public affairs analyst. And I must add that Mr. Jide Ojo is also a big fan of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. Thank you for joining us this morning. We have the Director General, Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Jubril Baba Ndachi. Thank you very much for being here, sir. Director General, NBC, that's the National Broadcasting Commission, Mr. Charles Ebuebu, you're most welcome. Thank you for joining us. We also have here present Mr. Isa Aremo, is the Director General and the Chief Executive Officer of Modu National Institute for Labor Studies. You're most welcome, Mr. Aremo. Thank you. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, Mariam. And we have one or two recognitions quickly here. Zonal Director, Ibadan National Station, Mr. Dominic Mokikon is here with us. Welcome, sir. We also have Madam Nafada Saladin, representing All Farmers Association, is here with us. There is Omar Radan Salihu, Managing Director Albarka Radio, representing Dr. Ladan Salihu, former Director General FRCN. Director General Nigeria Copyright Commission, represented by Director Public Affairs Mrs. Ijoma Ebunike. You're welcome, ma. That is the Honorable Minister of State, Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi, CON. Welcome, sir. Quickly here, we have we'll do this recognition in a moment so that we get the clear names correctly. Just for those that are taking records, the special guest of honor, who we know is His Excellency Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Ibrahim Kashim Shatima, GCON, is ably represented, just for emphasis for those taking records, is ably represented by elder statesman Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, Special Advisor to Mr. President in the Office of the Vice President. Just for the records, please, another round of applause, please, if you may. Thank you. So we'll continue to take the appropriate designations for those taking records and for those following closely to broadcast to the people of Nigeria and beyond. Next item of the program is the opening remarks, and is that of our chairman, His Excellency Barrister Nyesom Wike. We also know him as Mr. Project, Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, ably represented by Lawal Kolo Gaidam, the Secretary, Agriculture Secretariat. If you can come forward, sir. I think we should just try, put our hands together a lot harder. Thank you.
I wish to tender the apology of His Excellency the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Ezon Wike, for his inability to be here with us, but he is with us in spirit. He has directed me to come and represent him, being the Mandate Secretary, Agricultural Development Secretariat of the FCT. The Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shatima, ably represented by the SSA, who is a well-known national businessman. The Honorable Minister of Information and other ministers present, please allow me to continue to Allow me to align with the mandates, the Master of Ceremony, as far as the protocol is concerned. All are respected. Assalamu alaikum. It is a honor and extreme privilege for me to be at this momentous event, the 2024 FRCN Annual Lecture and Award Ceremony. On behalf of the Federal Capital Territory Administration, I warmly welcome you all to Abuja, our beautiful capital city, as we gather to celebrate success, learn from each other, and inspire one another for the greater good of our nation. I am deeply inspired by the theme of our gathering today, food security in Nigeria, which way forward. This theme aligns deeply with the prevailing global reality as our world today, and Nigeria in particular, grapples with a severe food crisis exacerbated by conflicts, ineffective agricultural policies, and the growing impact of climate change. Amidst this challenging scenario, the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, and the World Food Programme have sounded a warning, cautioning that if nations fail to take urgent and necessary action, they will be pushed deeper into food insecurity, which may lead to social unrest, escalating conflicts, and widespread human suffering. In response to this dire situation, the FCT administration has prioritized agriculture as a central component of the developmental program. Through its various secretaries, departments, and agencies, SDS, the administration has been working diligently to ensure that all agricultural lands are utilized efficiently, while addressing the security challenges faced by both crop and livestock farmers. Additionally, measures are being implemented to prevent soil degradation, promote sustainable soil management practices, and enhance access to high-quality seeds and other agricultural inputs to improve yields. In recognition of the vital role that women and youth can play in agriculture, the FCT administration created the Women and Youth Secretariat as an avenue not only to keep tabs on other activities but also provide support to them through the Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat. This will help to channel their energies to useful agricultural ventures that will have the multiple effects of enhancing their well-being and boosting the food production systems in our capital city, Abuja. It may also interest you to note that the approval by the Federal Capital Territory Administration Council for the procurement of assorted agricultural inputs to promote dry season farming in the territory. This is the first time such activities was carried out to encourage so that farming should be an all-year business. In the same vein, the FCT administration is investing in building the capacity of farmers to efficiently and effectively mitigate post-harvest issues, that is post-harvest losses and pest infestation, with the hope that those interventions will help reduce poverty, create better opportunities for FCT farmers, and most importantly, enhance food and nutrition security. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is imperative to note that no effective address Nigeria's food security. All hands must be on deck. This call for partnership with well-meaning organizations and development partners. I am proud to highlight that the FCT administration partnership with the World Bank on the agro-climate resilience in semi-arid landscape project, the Islamic Development Bank, and the Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones (SAPZ) project, and collaborations with other key institutions such as the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture (IITA) and the Japan International Cooperation Agency (JICA), are making significant impact in enhancing sustainable food production in the FCT. Permit me to use this opportunity to reiterate the willingness of the FCT administration to play its part in addressing Nigerian food security. We therefore invite investors to leverage the ease of doing business in the FCT and invest in our vast arable land so that together we can collectively achieve our vision of a food secure Nigeria. In conclusion, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, for organizing this significant event. It is heartwarming to see the caliber of individuals that have gathered here today from both the public and private sectors. I am confident that we will do justice to the topic of discussion. This will undoubtedly contribute to realigning Nigeria onto a path of sustainable growth and progress. I thank you all for your attention. Masalam.
Well, put your hands together again for him. It's important. Representing our chairman of the occasion. Thank you very much, sir. Lowell Kolo Gaidam. Quickly here, let's quickly make a couple of recognitions as we tidy up. A while ago, we said Honorable Minister of State, Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi CON is here with us. We're just trying to do that for emphasis. There's also Engineer Obadiah Nkom, Director General, Nigerian Mining Cadastre Office. There is also our jolly good friend, brother. Well, if there's anything about warmth, I want to say thank you for being a part of this family, sir. Director General NTA, Nigeria Television Authority, Alhaji Abdulhamid Dembos. Welcome again, sir. More quickly, Dr. Olalekon Fodolapo, Director General, Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria. We thank you very much for coming, sir. Mr. Tunji Bello, Executive Vice Chairman, Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, is also here present. I think a collective round of applause for all of them would do. Thank you very much. Now, moving forward, we'll begin with the remarks. And Mariam, you have the first one, right? Good, let's go.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we take a few remarks from some of the dignitaries here present, I would like to recognize the Managing Director, News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, Malam Ali M. Ali. Thank you for joining us. In our midst, Honorable Bashir Abubakar, MFR, Chairman and Chief Commissioner, Public Complaints Commission, Nigerian Ombudsman. Thank you all for joining us. At this point, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture, that's Honorable Aliyu Sabi Abdullahi CON, for his remarks. Honorable Minister, a round of applause for him, please.
Thank you. How are you? A very good morning to you all. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I'm here at the request of my brother and colleague, distinguished Senator Abubakar Kyari, who will have been here personally, but had another very urgent engagement that took him out of Abuja this morning. And so I was drafted to recognize the work that is being done under this platform today. The FRCN Annual Lecture and Award, in which the topic of food security in Nigeria is the focus. So everything I'll be saying here are the words of Senator Abubakar Kyari, CON, my brother, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security. On this note, permit me to acknowledge and recognize the special guest of honor, His Excellency Senator Kashim Shettima, GCON, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is represented here by one of our elder statesmen, Dr. Hakim Ahmed. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. And of course, the host minister, Alhaji Malam Ustaz Mohammed Idris Malagi. It's a pleasure to join you today, all in the service of our very dear nation. Let me also recognize my brother, the Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, Malam Idi Mukhtar Meha. It's a pleasure. And in particular, we have a host who is ably represented here by the Mandate Secretary of Agriculture. And let me, at this juncture, recognize our Royal Father, Your Highness, the Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmad Bamali, CFR. It's a pleasure to see you once again, and other very important dignitaries here. For brevity of time, permit me to say distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with a profound sense of responsibility and honor that I stand before you today. These are the words of Senator Abubakar Kyari, so I'm taking his speech now. As we accentuate the very fundamental nature of food security, which is topmost on the agenda of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, since assumption of office over a year ago. The theme of this gathering, Nigerian food crisis, which way forward, is not only apt and topical, but central to our mission of ensuring food and nutrition security, economic prosperity, and sustainable development to Nigeria. Let me commend the management and staff of Radio Nigeria under the indefatigable leadership of the Director General, Dr. Mohammed B. Bulama, for your continued commitment and support to the development of Nigerian agriculture in particular. Interestingly, any solution-centric engagement on agriculture will contribute to sustainable agricultural development in Nigeria. On that strength, I make bold to say that our gathering here today is timely and a critical step in the right direction, as this will further promote our collective quest for the realization of a food and nutrition secure Nigeria. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, has not left anyone in doubt since his assumption of office that food security is evidently one of his top priorities. And he has shown evidently unflinching support to the agricultural sector since his assumption of office. And this is further encapsulated in the Economic Sustainability Plan, bringing on the sector as a key identified force for economic diversification to achieve food security. As we are all very aware, Nigeria's food security faces pressing challenges that demand innovative and sustainable solutions. This imperative makes it very evident that we collectively set an agenda for a tooling towards strengthening the significant role that all stakeholders will play in ensuring a resilient food system in Nigeria. Essentially, this gathering's deliberation should explore challenges, identify our collective expectations, and underscore federal government's unwavering support in pursuing solutions. To address the complex nature of food security, government is implementing policies that promote sustainable solutions through the application of innovative technologies, renewable energy integration, efficient resource management, sustainable infrastructure development, and good agricultural practices to enhance agricultural resilience, productivity, and sustainability. A significant contribution challenge in the 2025 budget presentation done yesterday, Mr. President proposed an unprecedented amount of budgetary allocation to the ministry and the other security agencies, the multiplier effect on agriculture being that the funds will be safer and by implication more land will be available for cultivation. In order to increase the tractor density of the country, to increase mechanization, reach to rural areas, the federal government is carrying out several mechanization projects and programs. It is noteworthy that the national dry season farming was reintroduced to boost year-round agricultural production with a view to guaranteeing national food and nutrition security. The implementation of the programs has substantially increased food production in the country, thereby decreasing the food supply-demand gap. The goal of the National Agricultural Growth Scheme, Agro Pocket, which is another ICT-based agricultural input delivery platform, is to address the continued rise in the prices of agricultural commodities through continuous ramping up of production, through administration of input distribution to farmers using genuine farmers and farm data. This is currently ongoing across not less than 20 states of the Federation, particularly that have facilities for dry season. Ladies and gentlemen, we must do more to sustainably develop the Nigerian agriculture in the face of increasing climate change, debilitating threats, and diminishing farm population. One major way of achieving this is the use of sustainable technological solutions. This gathering should therefore engage in robust discussion that will result in tangible and measurable and impactful solutions which can mitigate the challenges and ameliorate food security problems across the country. As we consider the food crisis, which way forward, we should also provide sustainable ways to addressing these solutions or these challenges. It is essential to set out a clear roadmap, and therefore let me reiterate that under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, as your partner in this endeavor, I assure you that the federal government is keenly interested in the communique that will emerge from this gathering. I will conclude once again by thanking you for embracing the opportunity for professional and national development, by extension through this convocation of this particular summit. I urge you to seize this opportunity to collaborate, innovate, and set actionable goals. The Radio Nigeria, by its motto, uplifting the people and uplifting the nation, has always been a major contributor to national progress. I am confident that this gathering will further reinforce that legacy. On behalf of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security and other agricultural stakeholders, I wish to profoundly identify with you while wishing you a successful annual lecture. We look forward to working with you towards the attainment of a more food and nutritious, secure Nigeria. Thank you, and may God bless you and bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. End of quote. Now, before I take my leave, permit me to add one or two things. Like I said, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, for which I've just read the address of the Minister, is definitely in tune with the idea of solving the food crisis. And I think part of the things that you should look at, I don't want to preempt what the guest lecturer will be saying. He's somebody I'm very familiar with. But I add here that for you to achieve sustainable food security, you need quality seeds, you need mechanization, you need extension, and we must begin to address our focus on research, in-house, homegrown research. Nobody will give you improved seed a la carte. You have to work for it. And I want to tell you that all of these issues I've mentioned are issues we are definitely dealing with. But let me also add here that the foundation of agriculture is soil. Also working on soil. I know this is a goodwill message, and maybe that's why we are not taking so many issues that we are doing. We want to listen, and like the goodwill message of the minister said, we are interested in the outcome of the deliberation today. So I wish you a successful, event, and pray that together we can provide solutions that can take Nigeria's food and nutrition security to that desirable level where, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, no Nigerian goes to bed hungry. God help us. Thank you very much.
Can we appreciate the Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security one more time, please? Thank you very much for that the insightful remark. And food, of course, as we all know, is one of the basic necessities of life. So, being the theme for this year's annual lecture of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, that cannot be overemphasized. Thank you very much once again, Senator Ali Usabi Abdullahi, Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security. We move on to the next item, and that will be some more remarks from some of the important dignitaries here present. And I think I would like to invite my colleague to come and do this. Yeah. Okay. The next person to give us a few remarks on the theme of this year's annual lecture for security in Nigeria, which we forward, is no other person than the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Alhaji Muhammad Idris Malagi.
Just before he comes over, just 1 second. You couldn't just call that name like that because he's a jolly good fellow. Alhaji Muhammad Idris Malagi is certainly a jolly good fellow to almost everybody here present. And you saw the way by our DG. Alhaji Muhammad Idris Malagi Kaka Kinupe was sworn in as Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation on August 21, 2023. His pedigree in broadcasting, press, public relations, and advertising sectors spanning over 3 decades. Now 3 decades, that's 30 years, indicates his strong competence for this position. The newspaper, radio, television, public relations, and philanthropic affairs are his specialties. Ladies and gentlemen, can you join me, please, to appreciate this teacher, team player, leader, image merchant, grassroots politician, all-round media professional, and the Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Muhammad Idris Malagi Kaka Kinupe. Now that clap should be louder than that.
I just hope I deserve all those encomiums. Let me recognize first and foremost the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, represented very ably by our elder brother and erudite scholar, an accomplished public servant, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed. Thank you, sir, for the services you are rendering to our country. The representative of the Minister of the FCT, who is also the Mandate Secretary for Agriculture, Alhaji Lawal Gaidam, the Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, my older brother and my neighbor for many, many years. He congratulated me when I became minister, and little did he know that he was also going to the queue. And I think our street is so blessed to have produced 2 ministers in the same cabinet. Thank you, sir, for coming. The Honorable Minister of State for Agriculture, my brother, you introduced me as Alhaji Mala and Ustaz all wrapped together. I don't know which one, but you're also an Ustaz. So I will introduce you, distinguished Senator Ustaz Savi Aliyu. Thank you for the work you are doing together with the Honorable Minister of Agriculture to ensure the availability affordability and accessibility of food to our people. The representatives of the state governors, Borno, Kaduna especially, here present. The Permanent Secretary, Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Mrs. Comfort, very consummate public officer. The Director General of the FRCN and all the DGs here present, NTA, Voice of Nigeria, MBC, the MD of News Agency of Nigeria, Alcon, all of you. Thank you for coming. But I must also recognize some of the past DGs here. I'm seeing in the second row, Dr. Garba Abari. Thank you for the services you have rendered, especially at the new, National Orientation Agency. And thank you for always calling me to ask me how I'm faring. I met him as Director General of the National Orientation Agency. He left not so long afterwards, but he still calls me at least once a month to ask me how I was doing and to also offer advice. This is how public service should be. Thank you for all those pieces of advice you've given, Dr. Abari. Our royal fathers, the Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Nuhu Bamali, thank you. And I want to assure you that your daughter is doing very well in my house. She has no complaint, otherwise she will have gone back to Zazzau by now. The royal father, the Emir of Wasi, Alhaji Dr. Muhammadu Saidu, thank you for coming. The president of the Nigerian School of Public Relations, Dr. Neliaku, the representative of the chief of the air staff, our own Sagebok here. The ranks, I will be clever and smart not to call it because it is, I don't want to be court-martialed this morning. So Kutai Haya, former SSG, former commissioner, and someone who has worked together with Professor Jega to bring about the blueprint for the agricultural sector in Nigeria. The former DG of Voice of Nigeria is always around to also offer his advice. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the protocol list is so long. Permit me to please cut it. It is with a great sense of honor and duty that I welcome all of you invited guests, the guest lecturer, Professor Abba Gambo of the University of Maiduguri, the team of discussants, management and staff of the FRCN, to yet another edition of this year's annual lecture series. The lecture series has evolved into a flagship platform for intellectual discourse on matters of national importance, ranging from political to socio-economic issues. The theme, food security in Nigeria, which way forward, could not be more timely. True to its slogan, uplifting the people, uniting the nation, the FRCN has consistently demonstrated its commitment to national development, not only through its dynamic and compelling programming, but also through impactful initiatives like this year's annual lecture, which brings stakeholders together for meaningful conversation around very important national issues. Food security is not just a development issue, it is a national security imperative, touching on our survival, stability, and sovereignty as a nation. It is in that realization that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, upon assumption of office, renamed the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to the new Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Nigeria, blessed with vast arable land, favorable climatic conditions, and a youthful population, has the potential to be a global agricultural powerhouse. Yet, we faced very significant challenge in attempting affordability and self-sufficiency in food production. This ongoing challenge is what has informed the special attention that the President is paying to this very important sector, which happens to be the biggest employer of labor in our country today. I am confident that the guest lecturer and the esteemed panelists here will provide a comprehensive analysis of the challenges facing agricultural sector and other related sectors in this country. While their insights will undoubtedly highlight critical areas for improvement, it is essential to emphasize some of the key initiatives already been undertaken by this administration in achieving food security. Indeed, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture has already outlined many of them. There is no use going over them all. But let me say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had early on in the life of his administration brought about 3 key agricultural interventions. The first one is the declaration of a state of emergency on food security in Nigeria. The second, setting up of an intervention project on food security, and sustainability. And the third one, checkmating the activities of saboteurs, especially those who are holding and smugglers of food and other commodities. But let me also add that the creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development is also an indication of the President's desire to ensure that we are not just self-sufficient in production, in nutrition, but also providing jobs for our teeming youth population. As the Minister of Information and National Orientation, I must emphasize the critical role that the media can play in promoting food security in the country. In this regard, the FRCN and other media platforms are integral part of the renewed awareness and renewed focus on raising awareness and educating farmers on modern techniques, climate change adaptability, as well as various government interventions available to help to increase their yields across the country. Nigeria's path to food security is not insurmountable, particularly through our collective resolve. We can transform our nation into a land of abundance where no Nigerian goes to bed hungry, like the President will say. Let me at this juncture commend the Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, my friend, my brother, Dr. Mohammed Bulama, and the management staff of the FRCN for your effort in galvanizing agricultural revolution across the country through a robust reportage of the agricultural sector and x-raying agricultural development on your various programs such as Let's Go Green on the network service of the FRCN and the various FM stations scattered across the country. As we look forward to a very highly educative and enlightening session today, I would like to urge the FRCN to continue to work diligently to sustain this annual lecture. I have seen that there has been a lull over a period of time, so I'm glad that Dr. Bulama and the management of FRCN is bringing this very prestigious annual lecture, bringing it back on our consciousness again. I firmly believe that Professor Gambo's lecture today will make us better enlightened and informed, together of course with his panelists, about what the situation is regarding food security. Furthermore, I'm informed that awards will be presented here today for the first time in the history of the event. I trust that all those receiving these awards will be inspired to redouble their efforts as we work together to make Nigeria a better place. This, of course, is in alignment in the spirit of the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President. Thank you very much for listening, and I wish us all a very happy deliberation. Thank you.
Please, can we appreciate the Honorable Minister of Information once again, possibly with a standing ovation. Thank you very much, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be taking more remarks, and this time is coming from no other person than the Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, Alhaji Idi Mukhtar. Honorable Minister, please. A round of applause as he comes up to the podium. Thank you.
In the name of Allah, most beneficial, most merciful, the special guest of honor, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by the erudite scholar, technocrat of national repute, Dr. Akim Baba Ahmed, the Honorable Minister, Chief Host, and my neighbor, His Excellency Province of Information, my brother and colleague, Honorable Minister of State, Distinguished Senator Sabi Abdullahi, the Honorable Minister of FCT, ably represented by the Secretary of Agriculture Mandate Secretary of Agriculture, my Emir Amir Muminin of Zazzau, the Emir Amir Muminin of Wase, members of the National Assembly here present, Chief Executive Officers of all media organizations here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, upon receiving this invitation, honor is the Vice President, Kasim Shetima, the DG of FRCN, Dr. Bulama, the special guest speaker is Professor Gambo, also from Borno. The representative of the FCT Minister is another one from Borno. And in all this midst, I'm the only Fulani around. It looks as if there is a gang up. But I take comfort in the presence of the Emir of Zazzau. If the heat is too much, I know where to run to. And I know certainly they won't get me there. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me join all who are here today to congratulate the FRCN on this year's theme of the annual lecture series. looking at the cream de la cream that are here today, I began to wonder what is the attraction. Is it that they are being invited by a foremost media house and that everybody has come here to identify with this giant in the broadcast industry in Nigeria, or they are attracted by the theme of this year's discourse? Anywhere we mention food, people will now gravitate towards that. The choice of food crisis, which way forward, is quite apt. And speaker after speaker has harped on that issue. And today there is no issue that is more topical than food. Whether it is abundant or it has reached the scarcity has reached crisis level. The Ministry of Livestock Development is the latest creation in the attempt to guarantee food and nutrition sovereignty in this country. And this is the first to have ever happened since the independence of this country. It is indeed a strategic move by this administration to address this matter. And any talk that only limits food to agronomy, crop, whether annual or perennial, without the mention of livestock is probably not complete. And therefore, this singular move of Mr. President deserves a standing ovation for creating this ministry to complement the effort in national food security. This ministry will solicit the cooperation of FRCN and indeed every other media corporation here present to brand it, to sell it, and advertise the new ministry today to every person in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is indeed endowed with a lot of land resources, land and water resources that can support livestock production for both local consumption and export. The livestock sector has a value of over 33 trillion naira. This has not been discovered in the last 64 years until this administration came on board. With a population of over 250 million, of which 60% are made of youths, it is indeed an understatement to say that we are the largest market in Africa. If the value chains in the food sector, looking at cattle, beef, dairy, piggery, rabbitry, poultry, fish, etc., goats and sheep, are all harnessed, including leather. By our estimation, the leather industry can employ almost 700,000 jobs, can create 700,000 jobs. It is worth almost 23 billion. And yet, these value chains are hidden until this administration came on board. If these are properly harnessed, they will provide employment opportunities as well as create jobs, address food insecurity and poverty reduction. Beyond national self-sufficiency, there are huge export potentials today of livestock as well as export of livestock products. You are talking of beef, dairy products, hide and skin, bones, horns, hoofs, bile, as well as opportunity for organic fertilizer. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the mandate of the new ministry includes animal health and veterinary services, and collaborative efforts with the Federal Ministry of Health to controlling zoonotic diseases. Improvement and genetic upgrade of the breeds in the livestock sector for better productivity. It is in public knowledge today that the 158 million ruminants we have in this country are performing suboptimally. An average Nigerian cow will give you only 1.1 liters of milk. On my farm in the blessed land of Zazzau, I do 20-25, and there are opportunities for doing much more than that. The intention of the ministry is to inject superior genetics in our national herd to make sure that the productivity is much higher and the average global scale. It is the intention of the ministry and part of our mandate to unbundle the livestock sector for active private sector enterprises to promote the value chains and drive employment as well as poverty reduction. We have about 417 grazing reserves in the country. Less than 1% are today being inhabited by the pastoralists simply because they have been neglected over the years. We will collaborate with the executive governors and the FCT minister to ensure that these grazing reserves are regrassed, infrastructure for the comfort of livestock and pastoralists are provided so that pastoralism is drastically reduced. Once they are settled, each of these grazing reserves will turn into a vibrant agricultural activities. We want to create clusters out of this so that they can attract milk processors, abattoirs, as well as commercial pasture cultivation. We will collaborate as well with media houses to promote the mandate of this ministry. This is indeed a keynote address. I do not want to delve into the nitty-gritty of what the ministry is going to do, but as the days roll by, we are here enlisting support through the Honorable Minister of Communication and National Orientation to brand this ministry, to sell the mandate, to expose the value chains in the sector so that Nigerians are aware of the huge opportunities that are today open by the singular act of Mr. President in creating this ministry. The template we are going to adopt is going to be private sector driven for sustainability going forward. Without much ado, I want to congratulate FRCN and the awardees, and I want to also register our appreciation for the hand of friendship already extended by the DG of FRCN, so that at an opportune moment we'll have an interaction with them to announce that Mr. President has switched on the button for livestock sector. We are now open for business. Distinguished members of this engagement, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development, Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are open for business, and please, whatever you do, food has no alternative. From the CNC to the last person, everybody must eat. The theme of the engagement cannot be better chosen. You are welcome. We are open for business, and I do know that in here I have met so many people who have indicated their interest to go into livestock farming. We are going to create that enabling environment for you to come in. The opportunities are huge. They are unlimited. Already we are getting very, very strong appetite from international investors as well as local entrepreneurs who want to go in ranching, dairy farms, abattoir, cold chain, packaging, etc. In the whole gamut today, there is no sector within the livestock industry that you can say cannot be profitable and cannot be profitable and cannot contribute its quota towards national food security. Thank you very much.
This is the gentleman that makes livestock development mouth-watering. Please, a round of applause for the gentleman. Honorable Minister of Livestock Development, Alhaji Idi Mokhtar. Thank you, sir. Opportunities are there. Let's go for it. Quickly, let's do some house cleaning here. Mrs. Nike Adejoke, Director, National Broadcast Academy, Lagos. Welcome. Mrs. Bimbo Oyetunde, Deputy National President, Nigeria Union of Journalists. You're welcome, ma'am. Alhaji Sule, National President, Nigeria Israel Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, sir. Engineer Obadiah Nkom, Director General Mining Cadastre Office. Welcome, sir. That's Director General NTA. Let me remind us that we are live on NTA network generally. That means all over the country, and not just NTA. That means whatever we're doing here, we're being seen live on the screens, and at the same time, listening to the FRCN is certainly a must for all of us that are already used to it. It's more like a habit now. So for those that are listening all over the country and beyond, the FRCN is on, not just on our network service, but we're also on social media, all social media platforms. You want to check the live broadcast on and connect. Accordingly, when the real business of the day begins, you may wish to send in your questions accordingly. So one more time, remember to be a part of this program. Let's say also welcome to Mrs. Maria Ode, former Acting Director General, FRCN, Alhaji Mohammed Bello, former Director, Ibadan Zonal Station. This is a gentleman by the time you start reeling out what he has done for FRCN, you probably will spend the night here. So Alhaji Mohammed Bello, thank you very much for being a part of this gathering, sir. And Executive Secretary, Nigeria Press Council, Dili Ezuga. You are welcome, sir. Now, it's time for us to listen to our royal fathers. And to set the ball rolling is none other than the Emir of Zazzau, Malam Ahmad Nuhu Bamali Siapa, 19th Fulani Emir of Zazzau, Chairman Kaduna State Council of Traditional Rulers, former Nigerian ambassador to the Kingdom of Thailand with concurrent accreditation to the Republic of the Union of Myanmar, former Commissioner Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission, SICAM, former Executive Director, Nigeria Security Printing and Minting, PLC, former Acting Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Security Printing and Minting, PLC, alumnus of Ahmad Bello University, ABU, Zaria, Oxford University, United Kingdom, Harvard University, United States of America, Senior Chevening Fellow, that's at University of York, UK, Chancellor, University of Jos, Chancellor, Capital City University, Kano, Chancellor, Greenfield, Kaduna, Chancellor, Huda University, Gusau, among so many other portfolios he has held. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zazzau, Alhaji Nuhu Bamali Siapa.
أعوذ أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, ably represented by Yariman Jama'a, and also Senior Special Assistant to the President in the Office of the Vice President, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, Honorable Ministers of Information, Livestock, Agriculture, the Director General of FRCN, NTA, and other related agencies, and my brother, the Emir of Wasi, and other very important dignitaries here, too numerous to mention. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Let me also acknowledge the representative of the FCT Minister and also representative of Kaduna State Governor. When I walked in here, I was given the program of event, and it was that time that I realized that I have to say something here. I didn't know that I have to come up and speak. However, being able to list a few things, to say here, since we're discussing the oldest profession in the world, and that is agriculture. Everybody in this hall must be familiar with one or two things about agriculture. Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you today to address a topic that is both critical and urgent. That is food security in Nigeria. As we gather in this esteemed hall, we recognize that food security is not merely a matter of sustenance. It is the cornerstone of national stability, prosperity, and well-being of our people. It is in this regard that I'd like to say that agriculture and the position of food security cannot be overemphasized. Nigeria faces significant challenges in achieving food security with a rapid growing population and also urban expansion. The issue of changes in policies, from time to time that militates against, the progress and growth of this sector of our economy. In this context, I propose a multifaceted approach to move us forward. That is through innovation, which the Minister of Agriculture has mentioned, and also technology. We must harness the power of technology and innovation to improve agricultural productivity, investments in research and development, and modern farming techniques and precision. Agriculture can increase by yield, enhance food production, and by embracing technology, we empower our farmers with tools to overcome challenges and adapt to changing conditions. We also have policy support and infrastructure. If we have effective policies and strategies in investments in infrastructure and crucial enable efficient distribution post-harvest losses. We must develop robust supply chains, enhance transportation networks, and modernize storages facilities. And then by improving infrastructure, we connect farmers to markets, minimize waste, and also ensure food researches every corner of Nigeria. And then the issue of empowering the women is very, very effective, because if the women who have almost the majority number in Nigeria, certainly if they can handle the little agricultural aspect, Nigeria will be a different place altogether. Then the issue of climate sustainability, climate resilience and sustainable practices. climate change poses an ongoing threat to our food system. We must adopt sustainable farming practice, enhance climate resilience, and protect our natural resources, encouraging agroforestry, crop diversification, and water management will safeguard our environment and ensure future food security. And number 5, collaborative partnerships. Food security is a shared responsibility. Collaboration between government, private sector, academia, and civil society is essential by fostering partnerships, sharing knowledge, and pooling resources. We create a united front capable of addressing challenges and thriving process. Then finally, nutrition and awareness programs. Ensuring food security goes beyond availability. It involves access to diverse and nutritious food, education and awareness programs on balanced diets can improve nutrition and health outcomes, particularly among vulnerable populations such as children and elderly, leading to a healthier, more productive society. And finally, in conclusion, the way forward for food security requires a unified and determined effort. Let us commit to these priorities with the resolve to transform challenges into opportunities, adversity into advancement. Together we can embark on a journey that guarantees not only food security, but also a brighter, sustainable future in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, I'd like to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a word or two before this very important gathering. Assalamu alaikum.
Another round of applause for His Royal Highness, the Emir of Zauzau, Alhaji Nuhu Bamali. Thank you very much, sir, for that insightful speech. And of course, as he said, food security or ensuring food security in Nigeria is a shared responsibility, which means that both the government and the governed have a responsibility in achieving and ensuring food security in Nigeria. Before we move on to the next item, I would like to representatives member, that's from Nasarawa. We have Honorable Victor Ninja, former member, House of Representatives, Kaduna, Alhaji S.I. Sule, National President, Nigerian Israeli Chamber of Commerce, Honorable Logun Wasiu, former member, House of Representatives, is also here with us. Thank you all for being a part of this event. We have the spokesperson of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, that's Mr. Wajoren. Thank you. He's representing the chairman of the commission, Mr. Olaolu Koide. Thank you all for being here. We're going to take the next speech from another royal father, and that is Oba Rilwan Oshoolale Akeolu. Is the Oba of Lagos State, a visionary monarch who is committed to the growth of Lagos State. He is also revered for his commitment to preserving the state's cultural heritage and history. I must also say that the Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Oshoolale Akeolu, is also a very reliable partner in progress in achieving the core mandate of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, that is uplifting people and uniting the nation. We have a recorded speech which will be played right now by the media. The media, could you please project the voice of the Oba of Lagos State? Thank you.
Which is not supposed to be so. I was able to reduce to the BRS minimum, small bill, when I was Commissioner of Police in the State. What is very, very important is sincerity and honesty of purpose and love for each other. With due respect to our highly respected former president of this country, President Obasanjo, he has said it long time ago. Our land in this country, they are very fertile, but the security people have to be provided with the amenities to do their work so that the farmers can be present at all times. And the reason is, majority of Nigerians don't want to pay tax, and there are some few bad eggs in it. My mother died when I was under 9, my father when I was under 11. But due to hard work to see where I am now, little with this our present president, and that's why he has a very high regard for me. And the trend is changing now, because to tackle our progress in Nigeria is very simple, and with God bless you. One, absolute honesty and sincerity of purpose. Provision of necessary equipment for the farmers. Provision of adequacy of security equipment for the security forces to ensure conducive atmosphere for the farmers to plant and harvest their seeds. All will be well. Some area in Benue, we describe it as a food basket of the nation. If there are enough security for the farmers, we have plenty. When we are going up, there's one open space here, we call it Ojuro. You see how they be offloading yams there at that time. But now, the majority of our policemen, I pity them. They have no uniform, even fuel to move around. My appeal is just to all Nigerians. They should just have some patience and cooperate with this present administration in federal and states. All will be well. We all laugh last time. That is the most important thing. We have no problem in Nigeria, and I say it every day. There is nobody I cannot speak what I feel to be the truth. I have no reservoir of knowledge. And at the end, they will agree. But most people in this country today, they want this seat. What cannot do, you tell them, they will be happy. My life is not like that at all. Honesty, devotion, dedication, and love for each other, all will be well with us. The problem we have is greed, which is not supposed to be. Minimum, smuggling, when I was commissioner of police in Kebbi State. What is very, very important is sincerity and honesty of purpose and love for each other. With due respect to our highly respected former president of the country, President Obasanjo, he has said it long time ago. Our land in this country, they are very fertile, but the security people have the amenities to do their work so that the farmers can be present at all times. And the reason is, majority of Nigerians don't want to pay tax, and there are some few bad eggs in the system. My mother died when I was under 9, my father when I was under 11. But due to hard work to see where I am now, little with this our present president, and that's why he has a very high regard for me.
Okay, thank you very much. Looks like the tape come back to repeat it. Yeah, thanks. So that means a lot of people are following what's going on. Please, thank you very much. At least for him to have recorded his message, it's quite, he went an extra mile. Thank you. A round of applause. I'm sure he's listening now. Now that's one royal father that has been a partner in progress for us. Dependable, reliable, honestly. Whenever we catch cold, we rush to him. And he's done it without even a mention. Honestly, Oba of Lagos deserves another round of applause. Please, let's do that for him. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Next is another royal father who is also a brother, a parent, a friend, a dependable ally too. It's none other than His Royal Highness Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Sambo Haruna II, the Emir of Wase, Plateau State, all the way from Plateau State. Please, a round of applause for the gentleman. We have a collection of this kind of people that are quite valuable to our tradition as a nation. So it's we're lucky to have them here.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed, Your Excellencies, the Honorable Ministers who are here present, Honorable Members of the National Assembly, my elder brother and leader, the Emir of Zazzau, Allah ya ja kwanan sarki ya sa mai martaba ya gama lafiya. The Director Generals here present, management of FRCN, I'm highly delighted to be with you all for this year's FRCN lecture and awards ceremony. The FRCN is the major organization uniting Nigeria, a very large network. Professionalism is never in doubt when it comes to FRCN. Our country is undergoing massive restructuring with the agenda of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As an advocate of peace, I wish to reiterate the importance of peaceful coexistence. Without peace, there will be no development. As a farmer, I wish to commend the FRCN for the excellent choice of topic, food security in Nigeria, which way forward, to be delivered by my friend and brother, Professor Abba Gambo. I wish to congratulate all and I wish you a successful deliberations. Thank you and God bless you all. Unfortunately, the Honorable Minister for Livestock has left, but I'm sure he has left a representative here. And my message to him is he should not worry. All the Kanuris and all the other tribes who are here present, Nigerians should know that over 300 languages that are in this country, the Fulanis have colonized each and every tribe, and now every tribe is a Hada. Thank you and God bless.
You can be sure Fulani and very people, but no people, that is always there. You definitely have to have a joke or two about themselves. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause for the royal father. It's another gentleman very well now. For those taking the records, some people who are just trying to be sure with the names is Alaji Dr. Muhammad Sambo Haruna II, the Emir of Wasi, Plateau State. Mariam.
Thank you. Yeah. I know that a lot of us here would like to say one or two things, about this lecture, congratulating this giant stride by Africa's largest radio network, the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. That will not permit us, of course, to take all of the people that want to say one or two things concerning what is going on here at this moment. So please bear with us. But we'll take a few goodwill messages, and I'll begin with Professor Muhammad Yahya Kuta. He is the chairman, Presidential Livestock Implementation Committee. Do we have Prof around? Professor, thank you, sir. A round of applause for him as he steps up. All right, okay, apologies. He's the Secretary, Livestock Implementation Committee, not the chairman. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President is the chairman, so I'm just an agent. Distinguished guests, let me first of all stand on the existing protocol to save time.
but let me recognize our royal fathers and thank you for your patience to continue to stay. Because traditionally, even when governments come and go, the traditional rulers remain, and the people continue to go back to them. So we're not surprised you are staying back. Thank you, sir. Let me, on behalf of the co-chairman of the Presidential Livestock Reforms Implementation Committee, Professor Tairu Jega, who requested me to represent him here today after receiving the invitation of the Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Dr. Mohamed Bulama. He insisted I should be here because he's on another assignment outside Abuja. As a matter of fact, we just came back from Bauchi last night and on this Presidential Livestock Reforms assignment. So he's already on another trip again, but I have to stay back, given the import of the significance of this discourse. And as a media scholar, I'm also aware of the significance of media in shaping and amplifying development as in agriculture and other development issues. In the Presidential Livestock Reforms Committee that you are all aware is chaired by Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a mark of his commitment and belief in the livestock sector as a game changer in the fortunes, prosperity of the nation. Let me deliver briefly the message of Professor Jega. He aligned himself and all of us at the committee, the 25-member committee, believes that the committee was inaugurated by Mr. President on the 19th of July 2024 with 16 terms of reference that resulted in 22 process objectives. And in the process, the committee, after thorough deliberations, came up with 120 reform activities. One of them is the creation of the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development that Mr. President graciously gave to Nigeria. And I'm happy that the Minister of Livestock Development, the pioneer minister, has done justice by selling the ministry to the world, not only to Nigeria. And we are glad to note that, as Mr. President said on that day, that he wants this ministry or these reforms to take cognizance of inclusivity and, irrespective of political ideology, is going to be for the whole nation. And he wants the buy-in of subnationals. And I'm glad to report here that many states already are creating ministries of livestock development. Some of them already have them, like Niger State has Ministry of Livestock Development and Fisheries. The governor also created Ministry of Pastoral and Nomadic Affairs to address the issue of farmer-herders conflict in addition. And just recently, Borno State had already created Ministry of Livestock Development, followed by Yobe State had done that, and just yesterday, both states had created Ministry of Livestock Development, and the counting continues. So let us give applause to Mr. President for creating an opportunity for Nigerians. And importantly, the economic prosperity and possibilities associated with the sector is legendary. Just recently at G20, Mr. President invited some of us to participate. Professor Tairu Jega, the Minister of Livestock Development, Minister of State for Agriculture, and myself were in Brazil. And we were blown away by the potentials of Brazil, where public-private partnership and private sector investment has demonstrated that livestock sector is more than oil and gas. One company in Brazil, JBS turnover in 2024 is $79 billion. So therefore, if you are talking about a sector that will do well in terms of GDP and economic prosperity, I think the livestock sector is there. And that is why all the reforms that are happening today by the opportunity created by Mr. President is to advance frontiers and create more possibilities along the path of this industry. On that note, we pray that Nigerians will take advantage of this window of opportunity, and we know it will also further help us to address the issue of farmer-herders conflict based on the challenges posed by climate change, based on population explosion, and then the demand for natural resources, especially pasture, water, and other associated needs in the sector. Ladies and gentlemen, it will interest you to note that we have seen our livestock sector has conquered poverty in Brazil, our livestock sector has conquered food insecurity, and I know we can do it in Nigeria, and we'll do it, and we'll do it, and better than even other country. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Muhammad Yahya Kuta, Secretary, Presidential Livestock Implementation Committee. Please, we'd like to implore our speakers to help us manage our time so that we can really get to the crux of this event. Thank you very much. The next person to give a goodwill message is the Director General, National Broadcasting Corporation of Nigeria, Mr. Charles Ibuebo. Is he in the house? Okay, he just stepped out. We go to the next person, Director General, Bureau of Public Service Reforms, Dr. Arabi Ibrahim. Do we have Dr. Arabi Ibrahim in the house? Thank you. A round of applause for him as he comes up.
My boss, the representative of the Vice President, Malam Baba Ahmed, the representative of the Minister of FCT, Minister of Agriculture, Your Royal Highnesses, Emirs of Zozo and Wase, Director General, NTA, Director General, Federal Road Safety, Director General, Radio Corporation, representative of the Co-Marshal, representative Chairman ICPC, representative of the Nigeria Customs Service, former Director Generals and Chief Executives of agencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed our pleasure to be with you this morning, to be part of this very important historic occasion, to celebrate Radio Nigeria for this wonderful achievement and to further draw the attention of Nigerians to this very important issue that is enormous important to humanity. Nigeria food crisis, which way forward. The Bureau of Public Service Reforms worked with the World Bank 10 years ago based on the focus that time, 10 years from that time, there will be food crisis in Africa. Therein, we worked with the Ministry of Agriculture, the National Seed Council of Nigeria, to see how we can help Nigerian farmers with improved seedlings. And we are glad that that work gave birth to quite a number of seed processing companies that are operating in different parts of the country today. The Nigerian food crisis is a multifaceted challenge that strikes at the very heart of our nation's socio-economic fabric. It is a crisis that threatens not only the livelihood of millions of our citizens, but also the prospect for sustainable development, stability, and growth. Today, as we deliberate on solutions, I wish to frame our discussions within three strategic contents of the National Strategy on Public Service Reforms, which is the coordinating document our Bureau is using to reform Nigerian public service. His Excellency President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and global framework such as Sustainable Development Goals and African Union Agenda 2063. The National Strategy on Public Service Reforms emphasizes the importance of institutional reforms, socio-economic development, public financial management reforms to address systematic challenges like food insecurity. Strengthening governance framework and fostering collaboration across sectors is pivotal. To ensure sustainable solutions, we must streamline regulatory processes, enhance the capacity of our public services, and ensure efficient resource allocation towards agricultural initiatives. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda aligns seamlessly with these priorities, focusing on economic diversification, enhance agricultural productivity, and improve rural infrastructure. By providing targeted support for smallholder farmers, expanding access to credit facilities, and promoting mechanized farming. This agenda aims to reduce Nigeria's dependence on food imports and bolster local food production in the country. Furthermore, the Renewed Hope agenda's emphasis on empowering women in agriculture is vital for fostering innovation and inclusivity in the sector. At the global level, the SDGs, particularly Goal 2, Zero Hunger, provides a comprehensive framework for tracking food security or insecurity. This involves ensuring access to nutritious food, promoting sustainable agriculture, and addressing the impact of climate change, and also integrating these objectives into national policies, which are essential for aligning efforts with global best practices. The African Union 2060 also offers a blueprint for transforming Africa's agricultural sector. It underscores the importance of modernizing agriculture through technology, increasing inter-African trade in agricultural products, and fostering regional cooperation to address shared challenges. Nigeria, as a leading nation on the continent of Africa, has a very critical role to play in realizing these aspirations. As a way forward, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria's food security crisis requires a multifaceted and coordinated approach. Key strategic pathways and suggestions by us include strengthening institutions and governance, investing in rural development, empowering farmers and communities, leveraging technology and innovation, fostering regional and global partnerships. As we gather here today, let us reaffirm our commitment to securing Nigeria's food future. Food security is not just an objective, it is has access to affordable, nutritious food. Once again, I want to thank the management of Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria for providing this platform to address such a very serious, critical national issue. And I commend all the awardees for their outstanding contributions to our nation. Let us remain united in our resolve to build a nation where food security is not just a vision, but a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now we're moving next to our next destination, which is Excellency, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima GCON, ably represented by an scholar, an elder statesman, a special advisor in the office of Mr. President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmad. This gentleman needs no introduction as multiple. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, please let's give him a round of applause because definitely you'll hear words of wisdom.
Contribution. I would have been here anyway. FRCN has been the foundation of Nigeria in all its mutations and in its histories. And for me and my family, it is virtually part of our DNA. And, every time an event involving FRCN, and we can go back all the way to NBC, it reminds me about how much my immediate family had contributed its little quota, from Aminu Baba Ahmed to Mamun Baba Ahmed to Alifa Baba Ahmed, all the way to one of our youngest brothers who is still flying the flag, Jalul Baba Ahmed. My entire family has been shaped by NBC, FRCN, and Nigerian media. So when I participate in the media such as this one, it's actually an honor to me. Secondly, I said to him, Your Excellency, you might have forgotten that I used to share an office with one of the best minds that I've had the privilege to know, who you took away from this office and you sent him to FRCN as DG. My brother, Dr. Bulama. And he said, oh yes, it was, because we did share an office, and we shared more than an office. We shared a long history of comradeship and friendship and service. And I say this because it is important for FRCN to know that we gave up one of our best and brightest people so that I can be the DG of FRCN. So you guys had better treat him well, because he's not only good, but he has access to the highest offices in this country. He's humble enough to be one of all of us, but I can say that he's one of the brightest and most committed Nigerians I've got to know. That's the bit I have to say. I now have to do the right thing and deliver His Excellency's address, and we regret that he is not able to be here in person, and his wishes that this particular event will go well. Your Excellencies, representatives of governors, the honorable ministers, Minister of State, Agriculture, and the Minister of Livestock Development, Minister of representatives of members of the National Assembly, royal fathers, my Emir, the Emir of Zazzau, the Royal Highness, we pray that the foundation stone of the Zaria Mosque that was laid a few days ago will be completed, and we will see the end of that project with you as our leader. We pray for the success of that endeavor, and we bless everybody who has contributed to it. And thank you. Emir of Wasai, Your Royal Highness, one of our model traditional rulers, people who put themselves for pillars of community coexistence and development. His Royal Highness, the Oba of Lagos, DG FRCN, current DG FRCN, there are many former heads of FRCN and other heads of former heads of federal government media and current serving heads of federal media organizations, guest lecturers and discussants, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure I've missed out some very important people here. I ask for your understanding. I will deliver His Excellency's address now. It's a profound honor to share with you the joy of this day as we gather to confront one of the most pressing challenges of our time, food crisis in Nigeria. The theme of this event, Nigeria Food Crisis, Which Way Forward, is both timely and urgent, reflecting the existential importance of food security to our nation's survival and prosperity. It is often said that Nigeria is blessed with abundant fertile land and hard-working population that harnesses these natural gifts. Yet, this blessing is overshadowed by the sobering reality that millions of Nigerians are at a great disadvantage due to disruptions in our food production and supply systems. These disruptions stem from factors beyond their control, including the consequence of conflicts and the devastating impacts of climate change. Food security is not just about ensuring that barns and warehouses are filled. It is about making sure that every household, from bustling cities to the remotest villages, have access to nutritious and diverse diets necessary for healthy and productive lives. This understanding forms the foundation of our interventions in agriculture and food systems, which are designed not only to address immediate needs, but also to lay the groundwork for long-term sustainability and resilience. When we assumed office last year, we prioritized the distribution of fertilizer and grain to farmers and households to mitigate the effects of subsidy removal and ensure food supply chains remained intact. Through collaboration between the Ministries of Agriculture and Water Resources, we have revitalized irrigation systems to enable year-round farming and improve water management. To stabilize food prices, we are deploying a national commodity exchange board to establish and maintain strategic food reserves while effectively regulating market dynamics. Our resolve to guarantee food security inspired the creation of the Ministry of Livestock Development and His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. This landmark step aims to modernize livestock production, ensuring the availability of healthy meat and dairy products while expanding export opportunities in line with global best practices. Indeed, our commitment to boosting agriculture through industrialization is reflected in the establishment of special economic zones across key states designed to attract investments in food packaging and agro-allied industries. We are leveraging Nigeria's vast land and abundant water resources to establish a robust value chain in rice, millet, cassava, and livestock farming. Our Nigeria Cassava Investment Accelerator Program exemplifies our dedication to unlocking the full potential of this critical crop. As the world's leading producer of cassava, Nigeria has an unprecedented opportunity to generate up to $300 million in investments and create over $5 billion in annual foreign exchange earnings through export and import substitution and increase incomes for more than 3 million smallholder farmers. Beyond these immediate interventions, our focus extends to transforming the entire food production landscape. Through initiatives such as the Nutrition 7-4 initiative, we are addressing malnutrition across all local government areas, ensuring that balanced diets become a reality for all Nigerians. This initiative reaffirms our commitment to making nutrition central to national health and development policies. Nutrition is the fulcrum of a healthy nation, and our efforts in this regard underscore our belief that a well-fed population is fundamental to a prosperous and secure Nigeria. As we tackle the broader challenges of food security, we must also address the growing threat of climate change. The adverse effects of environmental degradation on agriculture are undeniable, and our response must be both innovative and decisive. Through programs like Grand Challenge Nigeria, we are fostering innovation to address malnutrition, food insecurity, and climate resilience while advancing the Sustainable Development Goals. By embracing environmentally sustainable practices and channeling financial resources forward and through green initiatives, we aim to mitigate the impact of climate change on our food systems and pave the way for a more secure and equitable future. The journey towards food security cannot be undertaken by the government alone. It requires the active participation of all stakeholders, private sector actors, development partners, civil society organizations, and indeed every Nigerian. The National Economic Council, comprising all states in the Federation, has prioritized food security as a stabilizing force, aligning its efforts with the National Emergency on Food and Security declared by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. This administration has initiated several measures to enhance agricultural productivity, including the immediate release of fertilizer and grains to farmers, the establishment of a national commodity exchange board to monitor food prices, and the promotion of a multi-sector collaboration in transforming food systems. These efforts are complemented by the Value Chain Development Program, which has significantly increased yields for smallholder farmers and contributed over 1 million metric tons to our national Agenda 2030, which is zero hunger, and the African Union Agenda 2063, which envisages a self-sufficient Africa as a global powerhouse. These goals align with our national food system transformation pathways, which integrate existing policies such as economic recovery and growth plans, and national policy on food and nutrition, and the national policy on foods and safety. Together, these efforts are designed to eradicate poverty, achieve food security, and promote a healthier and more prosperous Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, food security is not merely a government priority. It is a shared national responsibility. The task ahead is formidable, but it is not insurmountable. With unity of purpose, innovative thinking, and an unwavering commitment to the well-being of our people, we can overcome the challenges before us. This moment, like all those before it, must serve as a call to action for all of us to join hands in building a nation where no one goes to bed hungry, where agriculture thrives, and where every Nigerian has opportunities to live a healthy and fulfilling life. Thank you, and may God bless us all.
Can we put our hands together for our special guest of honor? That's the speech of the Senator Kashim Shettima GCON, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, as represented here ably by Elder Statesman Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed. Very well. Just a recap of what we're doing, because we're getting to the peak of the event. That's the lecture itself. It's the 2024 FRCN Annual Lecture and Awards, and the topic is Food Security in Nigeria, Which Way Forward? In a moment we'll be meeting Professor Abba Gambo of the University of Maiduguri, but we will actually say here that so far so good. Someone to bring us into give us a little bit of a pinhole, or a little bit of a pinhole view of our guest lecturer is none other than the Secretary Organizing Committee of the annual lecture. Akin De La Rock will dig a little bit into who this guest lecturer is. Salim, please come forward.
Our guest lecturer for today is a farmer, a teacher of farmers, and a teacher of the teachers of farmers. He was born into the academic dynasty in the famous Agrarian Society of Yerowa, ancient capital of Borno State, of Borno Empire, now in Maiduguri local government area of Borno State. He started his education at the Gambodo Primary School, Maiduguri, before moving to the Federal Government College, Maiduguri, for his secondary education. His next port of call was the Ahmadu Bello University, ABU Zaria, for his IJMBE A-levels. He had his first degree in agriculture at the University of 1990, a master's degree in agronomy from the University of Ibadan in 1993, and a doctorate degree in crop science agronomy from the Usmanu Danfodio University, Sokoto in 2008. Professor Gambo started his academic career as a graduate assistant at the Department of Crop Science, University of Maiduguri in 1991, and rose through the ranks to become a professor of agronomy in 2015. He has contributed to several national initiatives that have contributed to the quest to make Nigeria food secure. These include the National Facilitator Horticulture at the National Food Reserve Agency, Abuja, for 2 years, 2008 to 2010, where he, among other things, drafted the curriculum for the training of 10,000 unemployed youths at AMTI, Ilorin. He trained 5,000 youths in nursery management, orchard and maintenance, oil palm seedlings production, and management of millet, sorghum, and maize farms at various institutes, including the Federal College of Horticulture that in Kuwa in Gombe State, Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research, Benin, Edo State, and the National Institute for Oil Palm Research, Jericho, Ibadan in Oyo State, all in the space of 8 months. He also trained farmers in conjunction with the National Seeds Council on hybrid seeds utilization of millet, sorghum, maize, cowpea, and groundnut at Adamawa ADP in Yola, Adamawa State, Kano ADP in Kano State, Jigawa ADP in Dutse, Jigawa State, and the Zamfara ADP. Assorted tree crop seedlings under the Community Orchard Program to the 36 states between 2009 and 2010. Our guest lecturer also served as national facilitator and later the national consultant to the National Program for Food Security of the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO of the United Nations Abuja between 2008 and 2011 and 2011 and 2013. While there, he was part of a fact-finding mission on tomatoes to Jamaica and attended several trainings, workshops, and bilateral meetings within and outside the country. He equally had the opportunity of imparting knowledge to farmers from Gombe and Borno states, while also training horticultural farmers from Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara states on improved and water, as well as the policy advisor, agriculture, since 2009 to date. Apart from other projects here, it is instructive to note that he was a resource person at both the 2019 and 2023 induction program for newly elected governors. He equally drafted and submitted full report of the National Peer Review of the 36th Republic of Nigeria in 2010. Professor Gambo is a much sought after authority on Gam Arabic, including its certification and standardization, rice production and seed certification, millet, sorghum, maize, food security, and feed mills, among others, and has visited several countries on these platforms, including Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Brazil, Panama, Jamaica, Chad, Niger, Cameroon, Benin Republic, Gambia, Turkey, and Israel. He is a member of several international and national bodies, including, but not limited to, member of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, AFAN, member Soil Science Society of Nigeria, SSSN, member Horticultural Society, Abuja, and fellow of the Horticultural Society of Nigeria, member of the International Society of Horticultural Scientists, and a member of the International Union of Soil Sciences. He has handled several international, national, regional, state, and community-related assignments, be it outside the country or within at various states of the Federation. He has also undertaken several leadership and professional positions and has won several honors and awards that if we should begin to mention them, it will be another lecture on its own. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to let you in on the fact that despite his legendary work habit, he still has time for recreation and procreation. His hobbies include horse riding, which is synonymous with legendary figures from the El-Kanemi dynasty, reading, research, writing, traveling, and making friends, while he is happily married with two beautiful daughters, Hafsat and Nana Bintu, and two handsome sons, Buhari and Ahmad. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the podium to deliver the 2024 FRCN annual lecture this erudite scholar, enigmatic leader and teacher, a great motivator and development strategist, a father and family man, foremost farmer and teacher of farmers, pan-Nigerian, an apostle of food security, Professor Abu Gambo, FHSN.